Welcome to the first episode of Writing with Authors. I'm your host, Vincent A. Lanci.
Hey, Vincent, Todd Palmer here. I am excited to be chosen. I'm like Neo. I feel like the chosen one to be the very first one to get through the matrix of your first podcast featuring authors.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. For those of you who don't know my story, I'm a three-time published author, and a passion of mine is writing. Also, as a mental health advocate, I know the benefits that it does for me in that lane. So, as a writer, as an entrepreneur, I'm always looking to help people because people are always looking to help me in that entrepreneurial circle. So now my goal with this show will to be inspire future writers, inspire current writers, and also share the great work that my guests bring on the show. Todd's been up to some great stuff. He's already on another book, and we're going to learn all about his story. But Todd, would you mind please giving our audience a quick introduction without giving away too much of your writing endeavors?
Sure. So I was a CEO for over 25 years. In that journey of entrepreneurship, I started literally with next to nothing. Started my company for about $15,000. I was in the recruiting space in Detroit, Michigan. And over about a 10-year period, we were still in business, which when I look back on is sometimes still shocking because I'd gotten the business $600,000 in debt. So to compare and contrast it, we had about a $2 million run rate. So we were incredibly upside down. Um, it was September 2006. I was about 60 days away from running out of all of my money. The bank had put a call on the note. They were going to take my house, and my son and I were about to be homeless. For a long time, my itty bitty shitty committee inside of my head was telling me that I wasn't enough. I didn't know what I was doing. And now this calling of the bank notes kind of validated that. So for the first time in my 10-year journey as an entrepreneur, I finally raised my hand and I got help and I hired a coach. From that, over the next 8 years, we got out of $600,000 in debt. This changed the way we hired people because I believe that every problem in business stems from one source, people. So we went from hiring experienced recruiters, experienced HR people, to hiring people for their DNA, not their resume. And we grew that business over that period to make the Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing companies in America, an amazing 6 times. From the very bottoms of the mountain to hopefully the very heights of the mountain, I learned quite a bit, and I share a lot of that in my new book, From Suck to Success: A Guide to Extraordinary Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I remember being so inspired by your story originally when we connected on that entrepreneur show. Todd joined me maybe season 3 or so, I'd say 4. We're finishing up season 7 now. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship, you could head to vincentalanci.com and check out those episodes. And I liked what you said there about hiring for the right DNA as we move into this new age. Education isn't as supremely valued to what you are as a person, what skills you have. So I like what you touched there. You touched on your latest book, excuse me. Let's hear more about it.
Well, this book really came out of about 5 years worth of work. It's I know when people hear shows where people are authors, they talk to the masters of the craft, the Stephen Kings, who write every morning for 2 hours. That I couldn't discipline myself to do that, or my work process just didn't work that way. So I'd written my first book, and that came out in 2015, The Job Search Process: How to Land a Great Job in 6 weeks or Less. And that was really from the perspective of how can I take the 20 plus years as a recruiter, repackage that, and give it to a different audience. So really, how do I help kids getting their first job out of high school or college? This book was really for me, for that entrepreneur who was in chaos and crisis, that entrepreneur who was struggling so much with trying to be all things to all people all the time. An entrepreneur who would watch Shark Tank, would think, oh my gosh, these people really have their act together. I'm completely winging this, and in the process of that, what am I going to do? So I thought, I wish when I had started there would have been a book to help me figure out where to begin, how to scale my business, yet I'm feeling suffocated by the neto steps. When I pivot the business, all I keep doing is pivoting into a new wall versus pivoting into opportunity. I ultimately found myself stuck. And so I had to, with through the help of my coach, figure out how to get unstuck. And the first thing it was changing